Capital News tonight. President Magufuli gives contractors 7 days to complete road construction in Kigamboni. Over 34 million SIM cards registered nationwide. And in sports, Yanga marks its 85th anniversary with the spirit of bringing operational changes in the club. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Vanessa Victor. Let's get things started with the national news. President Dr. John Magufuli has given 7 days to the contractor to complete a part of the road from Mwalimu Nyerere Kigamboni Bridge and directed government officials in Kigamboni to directly engage with and serve residents of the district as construction of their offices is completed.
Within 7 days, I want you to solve the contractor problem because the government is not ready to pay 39 billion if the contractor will fail to do the job contrary to the contract that was signed before. Then corruption organs, including PCCB, should intervene by investigating all who were involved in the project. We want to see the road that's worth that much amount of money. It does not make any logic with 500 million shillings. That is enough budget for construction of a health center. Before, Kigamboni was a mere forest area and threatening issues of security. People used to be robbed in a broad daylight. Honorable President, the people of Kigamboni knows that history very well. Honestly, I would like to thank you for bringing important services to residents of Kigamboni. Previously, Kigamboni was part of Temeke district, where all essential services were available in far areas.
And Tanzania Communications Regulatory Authority, TCRA, said that to date, 34 million SIM cards, which is equivalent to 74%, have been registered through the biometric system, with the exercise to halt use of unregistered SIM cards still ongoing in phases. The Director General of TCRA, Engineer James Kilaba, said this during the Cybercrimes Safety Day, which was marked by the authority through provision of education on proper use of the internet to primary, secondary schools as well as universities in Dar es Salaam.
Umuhimu wa usalama mtandao ni sawa na umuhimu wa usalama wa afya yako.
Cybersecurity is as important as health issues. Our job is to make sure good users of communication devices, since most of them are connected to telecommunication networks, where through mobile phones, people have access to internet. Thus, everybody must be responsible with their communication gadgets, because right now the world has become a village. Revealing talents of youth on issues of internet. Secondly, it is important to have youth who have experience on issues of cybersecurity. And thirdly, improve the tradition of cybersecurity, since people will be aware of advantages and disadvantages of internet, as well as knowing means of controlling and combating issues of hacking.
A panel of 3 judges in Twa region are expected to preside over 32 referral cases at the region's referral court, with many of the ones on the docket to be heard being murder and litigation cases.
This meeting will have 3 judges, with the chief judge being Augustine Morija, as well as Judge Mwainaisha Kwariko and Judge Lugano Mwandamu. We expect all things to go well based on the preparations that have been done.
ambayo tumejipanga.
We have 20 criminal cases to hear, And as protocol, there are documents to be prepared before the case, which is, according to the appellant court, is 74 hours, so that the appellate judges can go through them.
Karibia tunakuwa tuna file ili wazee nao au majaji, waheshimiwa majaji wa mahakama rufani waweze nao kupata muda wa kupitia.
The Agricultural Non-State Actors Forum, ANSAF, has advised the government to invest in research and immediate information sharing so as to tackle the invasion of locusts and help farmers avoid crop losses. According to the Agriculture and Food Organization of the United Nations, FAO, the locust invasion is the worst seen in 70 years, with one cluster able to destroy food for up to 2,500 people per day.
We need to increase efforts in investing in research to make sure that our systems in providing early warning is constant and accurate. We also need to advise all stakeholders, both in private and public sector, to set aside funds.
Ina sababu kubwa ya kufanya kazi yao.
The private sector has major reason to do their job, because if they do not do so, they will not make a profit. But the public sector also needs to ensure the safety of its public and that they get their basic needs.
And Prime Minister Kassim Majaliwa has directed the leadership of the National Housing Corporation NHC Board of Directors to write a notice to all tenants who have outstanding payments to pay the debts before May the 30th of this year. The Prime Minister gave the directive today when speaking to leaders and councillors of the board at a meeting held at his office at Magogoni in Dar es Salaam.
Tumejenga nyumba tupangishe, wapangaji wote walipe. Awe ni mtu binafsi au shirika.
We build houses to rent them out and for all investors to pay, whether private or public institutions. Being a government organization does not mean that you should not pay. All government institutions that have rented out our houses must pay.
Changamoto kubwa ambayo kwa sasa shirika tunaipitia.
The main challenge that the corporation faces now is debts. The corporation has many rent debts, even though we can collect and pay our loans, but we would be in a better position if our renters paid on time without complaining their rent, because this is what helps us survive. We have personal debts and those from public institutions. We have used various efforts, but we continue to see how we can get this money.
Tunayo madeni ya wateja wa kawaida na tunayo madeni ya taasisi zetu za umma za serikali.
More than 7,000 residents from Wangwi village in Longuza Ward, Lushoto District, Tanga region have called on the government to build a dispensary and support their efforts in building new roads and repair those damaged by rains. They made the call during an exercise to repair the road from the village to Longuza Ward headquarters.
Muunganisho wa barabara hii Lunguza kwenda Wangwi Mbaramo ni karibu kuliko kwenda Mnazi.
This road is closer to go from Kuza to Wangwi Maramu than going to Mnazi. So if this road is opened and improved, the residents will get services with more ease and avoid issues in taking expectant mothers to the hospital. The youth have worked hard to reach the river area, which is indeed overbridged. And even now, the crossing is very bad, especially with these rains. I ask our government, which we depend on, to provide us with aid for our infrastructure that has been destroyed by rain. You need to remind yourselves of the laws. You have village government leaders, and the law says unless you have a permit to pass them through the road, one cow is a fine of 5,000 shillings.
And the Ministry of Natural Resources and Tourism has released the Wildlife Census Report for 2018, which reveals the decline of elephant poaching. The report conducted in Selous and Mikumi National Parks show a decrease in the number of elephant carcasses found in the parks during a period of 3 years.
Na nina uhakika kabisa kwamba
this information is essential in conservation activities, especially at this time where there is pressure between wild animals, especially elephants, and the reserves Thus, I am calling on all institutions and organs dealing with conservation issues to use this data for the benefit of increasing more conservation efforts and tourism activities in the country. These researches were expensive. We're glad that they have been funded by German Development Bank, where they donated over 200 million.
To establish such a census is not an easy task at all. This was pointed out by you. It's an enormous logistic effort. If you do a census of your human population, you knock at the door and then there is father, mother, 3 children or more. These animals don't live in houses, they roam. So it's a lot more difficult and a lot of money has to be invested than figures were given. So I really, really would like to acknowledge the hard work done, first and foremost by Tariri, Tawa, TANAPA and the Frankfurt Zoological Society. The census is a good outcome of the cooperation between our 2 governments, the countries of Tanzania and Germany, and it was a joint effort which made it possible.
In Tanzania, Forest Services Agency has allocated 12 acres of Kiwira tree plantation to residents of Igoma Ward in Mbeya District for development activities, including construction of various offices of public institutions.
Baada ya wananchi wa eneo hili kuomba wapatuli eneo kwa ajili ya shughuli za maendeleo.
After residents of this area asked to use land for development activities, we discussed how this can be achieved. And today we have come to implement its responsibility, and we are officially handing over this area to the government and residents of this area so that they can continue with productive development activities. Being given this area is beneficial because many things that were not available, such as construction areas, a police station, market and court, due to land, now will be able to be done.
And that's all for national news. International news is next. And in international news, thousands of Kenyans today turned up for the state funeral of the country's longest-serving president, Daniel Arap Moi, who died last week, aged 95. Mourners began gathering at the Nyayo National Stadium before dawn to pay their last respects. Speaking at the occasion, also attended by several leaders, including former presidents of Tanzania, Benjamin Mkapa and Jakaya Kikwete, President Uhuru Kenyatta of Kenya called the late Daniel Arap Moi a father of the nation, a champion of Pan-Africanism.
From his early life, President Moi understood the value of Kenya being bigger than any single individual. When the nation called for bridging divides and putting the country above self, he led his party out of opposition and into government, thereby ensuring that our nascent republic was devoid of partisanship and political bickering.
And the government of Uganda, through the ministry responsible for handling disasters, has started to distribute chemicals and equipment which will be used to fight the destructive desert locusts along the border with Kenya.
The creatures move very fast, move at high altitudes.
And the government of Rwanda has issued an arrest warrant for 13 Rwandan nationals alleged to have stashed 1 billion Rwandan francs obtained through corruption out of the country. The chief government prosecutor, Havugiyaremye Aimable, has said that Rwanda is collaborating with various countries where the money is believed to have been deposited in international banks.
We have started collaborations with different countries and issued a warrant to 8 countries that we believe that these people could have run to. and want their bank accounts seized in order for them to be arrested and brought back in the country to face their money laundering, corruption and embezzlement charges in court.
And politicians in Burundi have called on not to use youth to cause chaos during election on May 20th this year. The call was made by Ombudsman Edward Nduwimana in Bujumbura.
We are calling on politicians in the country to be close to their party members, especially youth, to get close monitoring so that they could not escalate chaos and violence as how it was witnessed in previous elections. We are thrilled to see all who ran away from Burundi are coming back home to participate fully in the coming general elections and build our nation. International Reconciliation Council is commending all who came back home who left the country in 2015. However, efforts are still needed in influencing more people to come back.
That's where we leave off with international news. We'll be back with business news after this short break.
Watch Business Edition as we talk to business leaders and experts in sectors that are transforming Tanzania's economy.
We believe that the driver is the customer.
To change the mindset of traditional HR to the digitalization.
Make sure that everybody can get some access to financial services.
And once we understand the vision of our leaders, we then need to be behind them and help them in achieving that vision.
Business have involved mercantile operations, trade guilds, or shared agricultural production, infrastructure, construction, financial sectors, tourism, and mining. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m.
Welcome back, and in business news. The Minister of Industry and Trade in Zanzibar, Ambassador Amina Salum Ali, has opened a meeting attended by various stakeholders where it was revealed that a World Bank report states that Tanzania has been placed 141 out of 190 countries in the conducive business environment ratings. She said the report shows that African countries with conducive business environments in the top 50 include Rwanda, Mauritius, and Nigeria.
Out of 190 countries, Tanzania is in 141 position, following reviews done by the World Bank. In 2020 reports, areas that have poor performances include establishing business, import and export trade, construction permits, asset registrations, and tax procedures.
Usajili wa mali 146 na taratibu za ulipaji kodi kwa 165.
More than 1,200 avocado farmers from Image village in Njombe District Council have complained that an investor has been buying their produce at a media price of 300 shillings instead of 1,500 shillings a kilo. They said that they've decided to break the contract with the investor Alivado company.
We entered into partnership with Orivado company. Unfortunately, the contract was not beneficial to farmers since the company was buying the fruits at lower prices. A farmer is allowed to breach the contract since markets are diverse, and from that clause, farmers can sell their products to anyone that reaches prices set.
That's where we leave off with business news. Sports news follows just next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him, and he's being dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Opposition, Joaquinho, he did lose to Lent.
And on to sports. As Yanga marks the 85th anniversary since it was established, the club's leaders created a committee aimed at changing how it operates.
Na mambo yote haya tunavyoadhimisha miaka 85 ya klabu yetu lazima.
As the club is commemorating 85 years, we must remain focused because there are major transformations that will take place. Yanga is a strong team and well known in East Africa and Africa at large. A transformation committee has been formed and is recognized by our constitution. Right now the team is working on formulating new structures and the team's way forward.
Yanga katika structure gani? Katika mfumo upi na tunaelekea wapi?
20 teams have confirmed participation in the NBA Junior Basketball League, which will start in March of this year. The tournament will be preceded with a training for referees and coaches in Dar es Salaam.
The preparations are going on as well as the teams, since there are some new teams on board who are participating at the qualifying round. In the meantime, we have prepared 2 courses. One is for referees who will be used in our major coming league and coaches who are training various teams.
Tarehe 1 mwezi wa 3 mpaka tarehe 8 na baadaye tarehe 9 mpaka tarehe 15 tutakuwa na kozi kwa ajili ya walimu.
And manager Ole Gunnar Solskjaer said Manchester United forward Odion Ighalo will be in the squad for Monday's Premier League game against Chelsea. Ighalo missed the club's training camp in Spain due to fears the coronavirus outbreak might have led to him being refused entry back into the UK. The Nigerian joined United on loan from Shanghai Shenhua on the 31st of January. And Jurgen Klinsmann has stepped down as Hertha Berlin's interim head coach after just 10 weeks in charge. In November, the former Tottenham, Inter Milan and Bayern Munich striker was named as the club's boss until the end of the season. Hertha won just 3 of Klinsmann's 9 league matches in the charge and are 14th in Bundesliga. And that sports item ends our news bulletin. On behalf of everyone who helped prepare this bulletin, my name is Vanessa Vector. Thank you for watching and good night.